The last diet I want to talk about is the Autoimmune Paleo Protocol, or AIP diet. Now this one is the hardest of the diets that I recommend. However, it is the most effective for someone suffering from autoimmune disease. The thing with this though, it's not something to be entered into lightly because it is very restrictive. It is one of those that probably you should reserve if you only are not feeling the great quality of life that you used to. However, if you are suffering, it is something that is a wonderful and fantastic way to getting back to feeling great. The diet itself is an elimination and reintroduction protocol where you remove foods that have been found by scientific research to be problematic for those with autoimmune disease. This may mean that they cause leaky gut, or that they exacerbate a leaky gut, or that they cause immune system ramping up, which means more disease activity, or that they are just inflammatory. The foods that you do include in the diet are ones that are going to help heal you, restore any vitamin and mineral imbalances, and just make you feel a lot better in general, reduce your symptoms, and thereby reduce disease activity as well. The AIP diet that I'm recommending is the one by Dr. Sarah Ballantyne, who also runs the popular blog, The Paleo Mom. And she is a scientific researcher who has autoimmune disease herself, so she uses this protocol to feel great as well. There are two phases of the AIP diet. One is the elimination portion, where you remove a whole bunch of foods and just stay on this, typically for 30 to 90 days, sometimes longer depending on how I feel, until you start feeling much better and then you don't really see or feel any negative effects. And then you go into the reintroduction phase, which is where you reintroduce foods one by one according to a specific strategy of stages and try to find out if you have any negative effects from any of these foods. Negative effects can be anything that range from like gas and bloating, diarrhea, depression, I get mood changes, or if you get anxiety or irritability. I mean, there's just a whole plethora of things that food can actually do for us. And so you're going through these foods one by one to see if anything's causing you any issues. If they do cause you issues, you remove them, at least for a period of time. If they don't, then you can add them back into your diet. The thing that's great about the AIP diet is that it's true customization. So you really customize the diet to what works for you. Once you remove the foods and start adding them back, you know which foods are going to cause you issues. And so you just don't eat them. And that's really going to promote healing in your body. The AIP diet itself is based on the paleo diet. So it removes the same things like the grains and dairies and legumes and beans and all of the other things that paleo removes. But it also removes a bunch of foods that are particularly inflammatory and bad for people with autoimmune disease, at least at first when you have a leaky gut and need to have healing. So some of these foods that you remove are coffee, nuts, seeds, eggs, any nut or seed-based spices or oils, and then also nightshades. So things like tomatoes, eggplant, white potatoes, peppers, chili peppers, paprika, any nightshade-based spices, chocolate, alcohol, any sugar-based alcohols like erythritol, xylitol, and stevia, and any fruit and berry-based spices like allspice, juniper, cardamom, and even black and white pepper. So it sounds like you remove a lot, right? It is very restrictive. There's no two ways about it. Yes, it is very restrictive. And it does really kind of require you to cook 99% of your food yourself because there are not a ton of AIP products. It has gotten better. There are a few companies that are making some things, but it's definitely not as easy to access foods as like on a paleo diet, for example. However, because of the temporary nature of the diet, it is something that you can do for 30 to 90 days with the and then the introductions and start feeling so much better. So I really do think it's worth it if the quality of your life has been compromised by your disease. And also, I did AIP the first time originally in 2014, and back then there weren't a lot of resources. But I actually just redid it again in 2018, and there are so many more cookbooks and blogs and recipes and everything out there. And there's also like subscription boxes you get and products. So it's not nearly as bad as it was 4 years ago. So it's definitely doable. And again, it's something that if the quality of your life is not great because of your disease right now, it's totally worth it to try. A big portion of the AIP diet is also the lifestyle component. So while paleo also included it, AIP really emphasizes it. You really have to do stress management, get good adequate sleep, and get movement in each day. Now, movement on paleo diet versus movement on AIP diet look a little different. Paleo, you can go a little bit more strenuous and do a lot of running and CrossFit and things that are going to be a little bit harder on the body. On AIP, it's more recommended to do a little bit more gentle kind of things because strenuous activity can cause leaky gut and cause more stress on the body, induce a cortisol response, and things that you just don't want when you're trying to heal your body. So things like walking, yoga, Pilates, biking, swimming, these are the things that are more recommended on an AIP diet versus paleo. You can do whatever you want, but you may hinder your healing if you go too strenuous. And just like the paleo diet, there are two great ways to implement this one. One is you go cold turkey, you just do it, start it one day. Or you can do it in a slow but steady method where like maybe one day you remove nuts and then the next week you remove seeds and then the next week you remove coffee, and you just kind of do that, so on and so forth, until you get to the strict elimination portion, and that's where your 30 to 90 day kind of clock starts. You want to go on it for at least 30 days, so on the strict elimination portion. So if you are doing the slow but steady method, get to the strict elimination portion and then go 30 days from there at least. And if you want to know more about the AIP diet, I also have a resource for that one, $4.99 as well, below, and that has a bunch of swaps. It has what you can eat, certain kind of products that you can use, and recipes as well. It's a little bit harder to implement as the other ones, so it's probably better to know a lot more about it. So that resource is below. And then if you really think that AIP sounds like something that you want to do, but you are struggling with the whole idea of it, and maybe if you don't know if you're going to be able to implement it on your own, I do offer health coaching, and I am an AIP certified health coach. So it is an option for you to have me walk you through it and keep you accountable and kind of help you really understand the rules and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link below for my health coaching services as well. And I do offer a free 15-minute consultation that you can talk to me about it and see if maybe it's a good fit. Keep checking on my blog and vlog because I offer articles and videos and all kinds of stuff all the time with information on autoimmune disease and inspiration and anything else that I've learned throughout this time through my own journey. And I really want to offer it to you so that you also can start feeling better. Sign up for my newsletter if you want to make sure you get this information in your inbox so that you don't miss anything. And really, I can't wait to hear from you how diet and lifestyle has affected you and made you feel better, because I know how hard it is to be in the depths of despair where you have so much fatigue and pain and brain fog and all of these things, and you don't even think anything's gonna help. But hopefully this will give you a glimmer of hope that things will change for you and that you don't need anyone else. You can make a difference and make yourself feel fantastic and go through life as if you didn't even have a disease anymore. And feel free to ask any questions that you may have. Let's get you situated and figure out the path that you need to do so that way you can get to feeling great again.